Hey folks, my name is Jim Castro, and we're going to be talking about a very explosive topic, no pun intended. Talking about the Syrian war, which has been waging for 5 years now. In particular, we're going to be talking about today the ceasefire that's happened in February and kind of give you a little bit of events that has happened since then. When the ceasefire plan was enacted February of last year, it kind of fell apart pretty much as it started. After a couple weeks of relatively calm between rebels and government forces, fighting started to erupt up in the north of the country between rebels and government forces. The UN Security Council did hold an emergency meeting about this, where Russian diplomats accused the U.S. of violating commitments to the Syrian government. They're saying this because the U.S. did conduct an airstrike where TASS, the newspaper in Russia, stated that U.S. response to that was, it was an accident. Al Jazeera reported last month the ceasefire crumbled in the north of the country where rebels attacked Syrian forces in what the rebels say is retaliation for the Syrian government forces violating the ceasefire. From what I've read, it's that the rebels thought the Syrian forces were moving out too slow. The Jerusalem Post reported that common people are pleading the U.S. and Russia to stop aiding opposing forces, meaning stop aiding the rebels and ISIS because they have a common enemy as far as in al-Assad. They're pleading for the Russia and the U.S. to join forces against who they both say they're fighting for, which is the terrorist, which is complicated by the U.S. wanting the rebels to overthrow al-Assad, the prime minister of Syria, and Russia's agenda is pro-al-Assad. The U.S. has been accused of funding the rebels, who could also be ISIS. U.S. President Barack Obama and the Pentagon have stated their opposition to any military strikes against al-Assad's military. The U.S. also stated the uneasiness of providing more advanced weaponry to anti-Assad rebels because of their links to extremist groups. So as you can see, this is a powder keg, and it looks like the United States may be waking up a little bit, or just like a lot of things else, it could be just a mirage. Have a great day, folks.